What's going on, guys? Chuck here with another awesome Blu-ray purchase. Today, we're taking a look at a documentary that was just released recently, and it is called A Disturbance in the Force, How the Star Wars Holiday Special Happened. Um, this was a documentary that I kind of heard about on accident, actually. I think I was going through Blu-ray.com looking at stuff and then browsing through it, and then this just popped up, and I'm like, whoa, what's this? I hadn't heard anything about it prior. I mean, I know this got a independent release or somewhere. I'm not even sure exactly what its history is. To be perfectly honest with you, there's not a whole lot I could find on it, and I just got it yesterday. Just finished watching it 5 minutes ago, and it was just I'm surprised it wasn't more of a bigger announcement release. I don't know. I'm assuming I don't know how independent it was done, but it's a really awesome documentary on one of the, I don't know, infamous moments of Star Wars history, if you can call it that, especially now. I mean, I think it's outgrown that infamy, and I think it's almost become revered in an ironic way. Let's back up a bit to my history with the holiday special. I was born in 1975, so 2 years prior to the release of Star Wars. And then the holiday special released on November 17th of 1978. Now, while my first Christmas memory I can think of does involve Star Wars, and Star Wars was the first big thing that I remember as a kid, I'm almost positive I don't remember anything from 1977 seeing it. So I was not privy to the mail away the early bird special, because the Christmas I remember I got toys, so it had to be Christmas of '78. Now, that being said, I had no recollection whatsoever, or even knowledge thereof, of the holiday special from my childhood. It was never talked about. It was never brought up. I mean, it's so weird. As much as I was into Star Wars and my friends loved Star Wars, we were all about Star Wars, I don't recall this ever being a thing as a child growing up in the 80s. In fact, I don't think I knew about the holiday special until my late teens, early 20s. I know that sounds crazy, but that's how well guarded a secret this was. I mean, this was a time for many who, this is, if anyone who's very young watching this, which I doubt there are, 1970s, 80s, it was a time when something aired on TV, it was one and done. Especially in the late 70s when these variety specials, which was all the rage, which is, again, one of the reasons why Star Wars probably, got a variety holiday special, because that's what was the thing at that time. But it aired once, it was gone. It wasn't going to be put on streaming, immediately afterwards to watch whenever you wanted to. It was there, it was done, it was gone. And obviously it was never rerun. So, out of sight, out of mind, it was one of those things that just fell away. But it wasn't until, to my knowledge, I remember, I don't think I heard about it until we and a couple friends of mine went to a comic convention locally here. Now, we used to be, we had there's a hotel here in Indianapolis that would host, there's a place called a group called Ash Comics would host a 1 day comic convention every couple months. Comic books, toys, a lot of VHS movies, whatever. This is still before even DVD became a thing. And I used to go there a lot. Obviously, I was picking up back issues of comics and checking stuff out. But I also went to see what kind of cool videos they had. VHS had a lot of bootleg stuff, some porn, and kind of rare oddities. And I came across something called the Star Wars Holiday Special. And I had no idea what this was. I was like, Star Wars Holiday Special? What's that? I gotta check that out. And so I bought it. And somewhere in this house, probably, in my garage box, I still have this bootleg copy somewhere. I remember popping and watching. Of course, it's it amazes me. I really would love to know where the very first recording of that holiday special came from. You know, the one that spawned all these different uh, VHS generations. You know, the copy I had is not pretty. It's, you know, it's a lot of probably second, third generation. I'd say probably second generation VHS, and it's a little fuzzy and muddled. You know, colors off. It's what you'd expect from a second generation, possibly second generation VHS recording. It's not pretty. It's not good. Of course, you know, the holiday special was like cool. But again, I would love to know who recorded that initial. Um, who made that initial recording of the holiday special, commercials and all, and was able to, you know, decide to put it out there and duplicate it everywhere and to put it out in the masses. Because that's kind of what started the resurgence of the holiday special, were these bootleg VHS copies of the holiday special. Again, this was a thing that only aired the one time on November 17th, 1978. You know, VCRs weren't, I mean, I think video cassette recorders are probably around, you know, but they weren't in the home like they would be, like, not till like the late 80s, honestly. So who got the hold of this? I would love to find that person. Find out who that person was who started this. You know, it's a revolution, if you will, to where everybody heard about it. And after that, you know, after I saw it, and this is like, and then it seemed like after I saw it, it opened up the floodgates of, wow, that is like the Star Wars biggest mistake. This was horrible to stop. And, you know, it's not good. It's not good. But it is an oddity without question. And it's, you know, it's just a weird moment of Star Wars. But as someone mentioned in this documentary, it came at a very interesting time in Star Wars, but, you know, between the original film and Empire Strikes Back, between, you know, 1977 and 1980, when there was no other Star Wars, no other, you know, the original film, that was it, nothing else. You know, after Empire, you have Jedi. It kind of goes on from there. They kind of, it's mentioned in the documentary. You know, they kind of figured out what we're doing with Star Wars going forward. Where after the first one, it's a big hit. If we want more of it, what we do, we just put it everywhere. Star Wars and everything and everywhere, and let's keep it, you know, in the cultural zeitgeist. Make sure everyone knows about it. Let's forget about Star Wars. Most that time, movies marketing wasn't what it is now. Star Wars was one of the first to really do that marketing. I mean, not the first. You know, go back. Planet of the Apes had a big merchandise marketing, but as they mentioned too, a lot of that merchandise stuff came months after the film was released. Star Wars was really pushing this when it came out, even though the toys weren't ready, and, you know, we know how that went. But they really wanted to keep this in the public eye, so they create, you know, there's kind of the idea, well, let's do this television sequel of sorts to Star Wars. And long story short, you get the holiday special, for better or for worse. Now, like I said, it's been known as one of Star Wars' darkest moments. However, over time, I think it's fair to say that the outlook on the holiday special has changed a lot. I think people are accepting of it. They're enjoying it, whether it be ironically or not. I mean, obviously, because, you know, it's not as hidden from popular culture as it once was. You know, it's out there. You know, you're seeing it in Easter eggs through, you know, current Star Wars iterations. Mandalorian has holiday special Easter eggs in it. I think they've made certain merchandise toys referencing the holiday special. It's gotten, you know, reference pretty much everything except for an official home video release. Now, whether that ever happens or not, who's to say? But what you do have is this fantastic Blu-ray documentary about the making of the holiday special. This is fascinating because this actually involves, I mean, it's a talking head documentary, so you can get a lot of stuff. You got like Seth Green, Mick Garris, and a couple other, you know, well-known people. But most importantly, you've got writers and producers of others who actually worked on the holiday special, telling the stories that no one's really heard before. All you've really heard is, I think, the Lucas film end of things. And we know that Lucas didn't care for it, but Lucas also wasn't really involved in it. He kind of gave his blessing, walked away at the end, and then came back and didn't like it. But here, you're getting the whole story of, what happened, why it failed. Some of the, talk about some of the things in it. The starship, the weird, kinky, Wookiee VR porn thing, and a lot of other stuff. But it's an interesting, look into this show that we've, as fans, have never really heard that, that other side of it, which is fascinating to me. Another thing that's really interesting to me about this is the clips they use of the holiday special are so pristine and clear. And I'm like, where is that copy? Because that's not the copy I had. They're obviously not dealing with the second, third generation VHS dubs. So, which also, there's a master somewhere, maybe they got it and they've, touched it up, and, maybe they're waiting for a special release somewhere down the line. Who knows? Maybe it'll come out in 2028 on Life Day then, as a special surprise, give a chance to George Lucas to go in and get a special edition of the holiday special. When he goes and digitally changes and adds whatever. Which actually be interesting to see, quite frankly. But, so yeah, seeing that footage so clean was amazing to me in this, along with the interviews. So, here's the Blu-ray. This is a great cover. Also fascinating on here, if you look, if anyone has seen the bootleg VHS, it's got the commercials all through it. And there's a newscaster on there who's pretty prominent. He's become kind of a cult figure himself. They actually put him right here on the poster, and it's talked about. And if you watch the credits, there's a little clip where they're talking about the poster, and they actually interview him, which is great. And by the way, those commercials they show are pristine too. So someone somewhere has got a nice pristine copy of the holiday special. They're just not releasing it, so it's out there. So yeah, there's the front. Here's your back. As a way of special features, all you've really got is a trailer. There's nothing really else on here. It's pretty bare bones, but it's, again, nice just to have. This is a very fascinating documentary on a very fascinating time in the early days of Star Wars, before it became what it is today. It was still a new, unknown thing, and it's really cool to see that. So, yeah, this, if you are, if you're a huge fan of Star Wars, if you know about the holiday special, which I'm sure if you're a fan of Star Wars, you know about the holiday special, even if it took you forever to find out about, like it did me. If you haven't picked this up, I recommend picking it up. I got it off Amazon. It was, I want to say it was like about around $20, maybe under. It wasn't too overly expensive, but it's a great watch. It's about an hour and a half, and it's very informative. Again, it's fun, and it's to see, again, seeing some of those holiday special clips in very clear definition is just fantastic. But I would highly recommend checking this out if you can, if you haven't already. It's worth it. It's a lot of fun, and it's just a good fun documentary on hearing some untold tales on the other side of the coin for the holiday special. Now back to that pristine footage it's on here of the holiday special. Being that you kid around, should it be released in home video? And they talk about that in the documentary. And to their point, I'm kind of two minds. I apologize for one nasally. I think I'm coming down with a cold. But part of me is like, yeah, you want that, as a collector, as a fan, you kind of want to have that nice, pristine looking copy of the holiday special and say, hey, I've got it, this is cool. At the same time, there is something about the mysterious aura of the holiday special that it's kind of built over all these decades. It's that kind of thing as a Star Wars fan, you've got to seek it out. And granted, it's not hard to find now like it once was. I mean, you could probably go online anywhere and buy a bootleg copy of a DVD of it, or maybe even a bootleg on Blu-ray, or still find a VHS somewhere. So it's not difficult to come by, but it's still, I think, as a Star Wars fan, and if you've never seen it, you've heard about it, and you go out and you find it, and you get a copy, hold of it, it's like, it's right here, I've got it. There's something really special about that isn't quite the same as, hey, here's their mass produced, man, I can buy a copy now, everybody's got it. While that's cool, you want that, and you want it clean, pristine, looking nice, but there's something about finding it in the wild, or getting it from nefarious means, and it's just down and dirty, it's gritty. There's something about that's extra special. So I'm of two minds. Do you give it out to the fans, or do you let the fans discover it for themselves? Your opinions may vary. I'm not quite sure where I fall now. I mean, I've done the discovered on myself, on my own, so maybe I'm ready for that. Give it to me. Who knows? Anyway, what are your thoughts on it? That's pretty much all I got to say. So that is it for this. Again, pick up A Disturbance in the Force, how the Star Wars Holiday Special happened, on Blu-ray from Amazon, or wherever you can get this from. I got it from Amazon. If you enjoy this, click thumbs up, share, subscribe, leave me a comment below. Let me know if you picked this up. What is your history with the Holiday Special? Did you know that? Were you around to see it live when it happened, or you, like myself, didn't know about it till 20 some years later, and able to obtain a bootleg VHS copy? Whatever the case may be, or just say hi. I will always take hi. So until next time, this is Chuck saying I will see you on the other side.